Mabuhay Pilipinas! What's up sa inyo dyan? Today, I'm going to tell you a story. My name is Dwaine Woolley, and this is the story of my life, aka Draw My Life. It all started when I was born in the month of July 1990. When I first came out of the womb, my head was shaped like a triangle. My dad was freaked out at first and thought his wife had just given birth to some mutant alien baby. I like to call myself a unicorn baby. A couple of hours later, however, my head sank back into a normal shape and I was a normal looking baby again. Perhaps my head was shaped like that because I was an unplanned baby. Yes, I was an accident, but it's okay, I wasn't the only accident. I had other accidents that I could sympathize with too, my brothers and sisters. There are 6 of us in total. From oldest to youngest, it goes boy, girl, boy, girl, boy, girl. The only planned baby was Brooke. She was born a happy baby. And now, she's a lawyer. I was blessed enough to be born into a very ideal family situation with a mum and a dad that took good care of me. My dad was big and strong and looked like the Hulk. My mum was quite small but sometimes could act like the Hulk. I grew up in the land down under, also known as Australia, or the other way around. I spent the early years of my life in a little town called Bundaberg, right on the beach. Playing at the beach was fun, but what was even more fun was playing in the rain. Not long after I was born, my brother and sister were born too. We used to play imaginary adventure games together outside as kids. I was very creative as a child. I loved to create. I made my own board games, I wrote my own stories. I was an introvert, lost in my imagination. Adults that knew me would always ask me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I would always say, "I want to be a dog catcher." But I very quickly grew out of that and changed it to an actor. I was raised in the Latter-day Saint church where every Sunday me, mum, dad and all my siblings would go to church. It was good fun. I used to have a lot of friends at church and at school, and my life as a child was very, very happy. However, as I became a teenager, my friends started to disappear. Good friends were hard to find in high school. Good friends were even hard to find at church. I used to think, what is it about me that people just don't like? In high school, I loved music and loved speaking Japanese, so I got A's in those subjects. Other subjects though, not so well, and other subjects just really, really bad. The early years of my teenage life really sucked, and the only people that actually cared about me were my family. But as a stupid, selfish teenager, I couldn't see that. I felt very much alone as I just drowned myself in my own sorrow. But then one day, I thought, you know what, screw people. I'm just going to focus on what makes me happy and what I'm good at. And what was that? The drums. I joined a band in high school and we performed in front of crowds of hundreds of people, both in and outside of school. I practiced almost daily and nailed my music examinations at the end of high school and developed a real love for performing on stage. By the time I graduated high school, I had finally gained some people's respect and made a few good friends, and so I left high school on a positive note. After high school, I continued to play the drums and joined a band called Mayan Fox. We played at concerts around Australia and even went to New Zealand 3 times to play at shows over there. At the age of 20, I decided to go on a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The church headquarters sent me a letter with my mission assignment, so my family and I gathered around in the lounge room as I read out my assignment. And you know what that was? Tacloban Mission, Philippines. So I left everything behind. I said goodbye to my family at the airport, I jumped on a plane and I flew to the United States of America. I stayed in a place called the MTC, Missionary Training Center, for 2 months. Now, as a missionary for the LDS Church, you're assigned a companion. My first companion was Elder Lee, awesome guy and became a good friend of mine. In the MTC, we were taught to speak the Visayan language, or Cebuano. Others found it a challenge, but for me, it was an opportunity. It was my passion. Just like I had become good at the drums through hard work and dedication, I committed myself to learning this language and decided I was going to be fluent. After 2 months of being in the MTC, finally the time came for me to fly off to the Philippines. When I first got there, my first assignment was Kalubian, Leyte. In Kalubian Leyte, no one speaks Bisaya, they all speak Waray-Waray, so I had to learn another language all over again. I used to walk through the jungles of Leyte every day and speak to people, and so I would bring around a notebook where I would write down everything I would hear, both in Bisaya and Waray-Waray. On my mission, I helped people overcome addictions, such as addictions to tobacco and alcohol, But the most important thing I learned as a missionary was the attitude of the Filipino people. No matter how hard their situation was in life, they were always happy, no matter what. After 2 years of being a missionary in the Philippines, it was time for me to go back home to Australia and be with my family again. It was a bittersweet reunion, sad to leave, but good to be home. And now I had to decide what I was going to do as a career. So I rejoined my old band Mayan Fox and told them we should make a YouTube video where we sing a Filipino song. We did, and it went viral. So viral that Kapuso Mo Jessica Soho contacted us and wanted us to be on their show. It was exciting. We flew to the Philippines, we played a few shows, we were on TV. However, nothing much happened after that. And the one mistake I made was I sat and waited for something to happen. Of course, nothing did. People used to tell me, Dwaine, you should make a Dwaine Woolley fan page or something. And I thought, no, that's a ridiculous idea. How I wish I had listened and started YouTube way back then. As much as I wanted to succeed in showbiz in the Philippines, I just didn't know how to. So I gave up and decided to become a pilot. Random, I know. While I was studying, an opportunity came up on Itbulaga, You're My Foreignoy. They were looking for foreigners that could speak Tagalog. I jumped at the opportunity. I left behind my study, I left behind my job, I left behind everything and chased the dream. I got on the show and won second runner-up in the grand finals. After that I started a boy band with the other two winners and we called ourselves the Foreignoy Trio. We released an album. You might know one of the songs on our album. Does this sound familiar?
You're beautiful, shine like a star.
Sumali kami sa isang show sa ABS-CBN na I Love OPM and made it to the top 8. However, nothing much really happened after that with the Foreignoy Trio. I quickly realized that in show business, only a few people such as producers, casting directors decides who makes it and who doesn't. And finally it happened. The best decision I made in my career in show business was to start uploading YouTube videos. The views on my first few videos were very disappointing. However, as I learned to edit videos and make good quality stuff, it really picked up. Soon, I met Shanta, the love of my life.
Ang haba ng hair ko.
Tingnan mo bebe, in love ako sa'yo dito.
Ha, dyan lang.
Eventually, I proposed to Shanta and we got married in the Cebu temple and continue to make videos together today. Show business is just a dictatorship, while YouTube and social media is a democracy. The people decide who makes it. So what's next for Shanta and I? Well, I think it's about time we had a baby. What do you reckon, Shanta?
Well...
You're beautiful, shine like a star. You got me falling slowly, and I'm crashing into you. Oh, baby.